Hello everybody, my name's Ahmed Stuff, and today I'll be doing a special video. Since OBS for some reason had issues recording all these basics in Minecraft, I'll be making a video about something else I love, and that is history! More so alternative history. I mean, I love history, but this video is going to be about alternative history. Today's scenario is about Bush Sr. winning in 1992, and how it would change the course of history, and much more. I'm sorry that I have to say this, but I've got to put a disclaimer. So, disclaimer! This channel does not glorify wars or political extremism! The date is January 17, 1991. Operation Desert Storm has just been launched. Just like in our timeline, the operation is a success and also results in a huge bump in Bush's approval rating. But it's slightly higher than in real life, and it's even more strengthened by some lasting rally around the flag effects from the fall of the Berlin Wall, and of course the collapse of the Soviet Union in December. After the coalition victory, no big name wants to challenge Bush, just like in our timeline, so Clinton is still the nominee. However, the main difference is that Ross Perot decides to never jump back into the race after dropping out. Soon after, the Clinton campaign, plagued with scandal, loses on election night, with George H.W. Bush winning the presidency with 386 electoral votes, a pretty comfortable victory compared to Clinton's 152. Despite this big victory, both the Senate and the House are still up for grabs, and the results of those elections are still delayed until a few days later, where Republicans are able to flip the House while the Senate is in comfortable Democrat hands. In 1993, the economy continues to stagnate but is able to somewhat improve after NAFTA and free trade are implemented. In 1994, the Republican Revolution still occurs, just like it did in our timeline. This time, the GOP has an incumbent president, resulting in Bush having many of his 1988 and 1992 promises implemented, like tax cuts and his New World economy. By 1995, the defense budget is pretty high and the economy is starting to stagnate again, as well as the national debt due to all the tax cuts. As a result, Bob Dole, who would still be the candidate in 1996, would still lose the 1996 election, but instead of Bill Clinton, it'd be a much more experienced Democrat like Al Gore or even Joe Biden. But for the sake of the scenario, I'll go with Al Gore. Al Gore's first term would be pretty calm, more similar to Clinton's second in our timeline. With a strong economic recovery and a stable net job growth, he'd also introduce environmental regulation, perhaps even going as far as a Kyoto Protocol 2.0, meaning that once 2000 comes, he is able to win a second term against Bush Jr. He'd probably be even more likely to be the candidate now, pretty easily. However, his second term is much more different, as he has to now deal with the a text that I can't mention or I'll get a strike on my channel, as well as the war on terror, so let's explore that. Soon after the attacks, Al Gore orders a military invasion of Afghanistan, which on paper results in a success and overthrowing the Afghani regime. But it also leads to a long guerrilla civil war. While the specifics are different, things largely play out to how they did in our timeline, except for one thing, the Iraq War. Since many of the claims were either lies or half-truths propagated by the Bush administration in our timeline, there would be none of that due to Al Gore being in charge. So, Bush Jr. isn't president. But other than that, nothing else major changes. So let's focus on the final part of the video, which is who would succeed Al Gore. Okay, I'm going a little bit off script here to say that this sport is a little bit more controversial, and it has much more recent politicians in this part of the video. So yeah, there may be some things you might not like. But other than that, let's just go on with the video. The 2004 election would be a very critical election in U.S. history, and it'd still be in this timeline. Let's explore who the Democratic nominee would be. Since Al Gore would be finishing up his second term by now, the Democrats would need a new candidate. Perhaps it could be Hillary Clinton, even if her husband never became president. Maybe it would be John Kerry, or perhaps who I see as more likely being none other than Joe Biden. By 2004, Joe Biden was already a big name in the establishment in our timeline, having been in the Senate for more than 30 years. The primaries would still be pretty close between Biden, Hillary, and Kerry, but I think that Biden would narrowly come out on top. Now let's explore who the GOP would choose in 2004. The Republican primaries would actually surprisingly be much less divided than the Democrats, with McCain being chosen as the party's nominee. In a somewhat comfortable victory, Joe Biden would be the winner, winning about 286 electoral votes compared to John McCain's 252. While those on the left are happy about the victory compared to the right, everybody is uncertain about how the war will evolve or if the economy will remain doing well. January 20th, 2005.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the oath of office, followed by musical honors.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States, will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. So help me God.
Would be the words Biden would say that day, making him officially the 43rd United States president. And just like that, Biden would have to deal with the 2008 financial crisis, second half of the war on terror, and much more. But that's for another time. Like and subscribe if you want to. And also if you want to see more of this, and comment. But only if you want to, of course, to boost the algorithm in our favor. Thanks for watching. Alright, so this is where the script ends, but I actually... but I feel like this scenario, I could expand more on it. I feel like maybe if this video has enough attraction, I could probably expand more on the Bush administration, because that's the main part of the video, obviously, and I could also expand more on Gore's presidency, and yeah. Or maybe, but I think the most likely one is that if this video does well, I might do a part 2 focusing on the Joe Biden presidency in this timeline and how it would evolve. Spoiler: it would probably result in in him being a one-term president because of the financial crisis. But yeah, that's kind of it. That's all I have to say about the scenario. I don't really know. I think it's now time that I actually end the video. So again, if you'd like to like and subscribe, and if you do that, there's a chance that I might do more of this type of content, as well as a part 2. So yes. That's all I have to say. And now, thank you for watching.